being, it used to be in the 90s, just men homeless. Now you got women and children homeless because these developers are coming up here, taking all the property, pushing the indigenous people into shelters. That's what they're doing. And Al Sharpton is getting a cut. Now, they've gotten bodacious. They want to now build a twin tower on 145th Street, naming it the Civil Rights Building in his honor. I mean, come on. I think this is going to be the straw that broke the camel's back. Listen, friends, there needs to be an investigation into this. Al Sharpton's on MSNBC, a program called Politics Nation, where he hosts a 1-hour broadcast on Saturday and Sunday at 5 o'clock. It's a scream. It's a joke. MSNBC ought to be ashamed of themselves. They ought to be run out of town. Al Sharpton on there, he can't read. He can't read a teleprompter. He sounds like a quacking duck when he talks. He looks like an idiot sitting there. He looks like he's dried up like a prune. Look like something that's come up and swept all over. And MSB ought to be ashamed of themselves. First of all, activists should not be also news reporter. You're going to be either one or the other. But that Jewish money talks. It talks. And for Al Sharpton to give away the mom and pop stores, give away the mom and pop houses in Harlem, has landed that boy a job on MSNBC. Now, I took him down a few years ago. I took him down. And because he was doing 5 o'clock, 5 days a week, I stopped that. I took that down. But Al Sharpton, people, how does MSNBC get off knowing that the New York Post labeled Al Sharpton as a rat? They call him Reverend Rat. They also post, and it's public news, that Al Sharpton coordinated with the FBI as central or confidential informant number 7 and ratted out the mafia, and the Jews came to his defense. What is this? When are you people going to wake up? When are you people going to wake up and see Al has sold Harlem and everything that is going on, he gets a cut. He don't even live in Harlem. It's too dangerous for him. Al can't live around black folk. It's too dangerous. But this has got to stop. You know, this Al Sharpton sale of Harlem, there needs to be an investigation. We know that community boards, you know, sometimes they take a little kickback. They take some money under the table. Construction, the people take money under the table. Bankers take bribes to build buildings. They don't know whether the person can fill the buildings or pay for them or not. We all know that goes on. We all know that goes on every day. But here, I have one other thing for you. You know, Barack Hussein Obama, him too. Him too. He and Al Sharpton tied in 2 peas in a pod. When they were asking where should they build Obama's library, his presidential library, to keep his papers and whatever it was he did the 8 years that he was president. They went to a place in Chicago that was in the hood called Jackson Park. And the people that of note of Jackson Park said, no, we don't want you building this library here because it's going to bring gentrification. This high-rise, this library is going to close down most of the mom and pop stores. You're going to want to put in chic, if you will, upscale restaurants. And the black people protested. The black people protested Obama building in Jackson Park in Chicago. But he and Al Sharpton, this is what they've done. Now Obama is living in an $8 million mansion up in Martha's Vineyard, for crying out loud. Al Sharpton don't live in Harlem. There needs to be an investigation, my friend. There needs to be an investigation. These things I'm saying to you now, that Al has made all this money. Al, I have to give it to him. He's very smart. He is cunning. He's slick, just like his hair. By the way, Al, you know, Malcolm X would have a lot of problem looking at you with that concholine in your hair, putting them straightening combs in your hair every 2 or 3 days. Malcolm would have trouble with you with that concholine sitting up there in the beauty parlor like you some little fat woman. But no, there needs to be an investigation. He's an old boy. Yeah. There needs to be an investigation of Al Sharpton's profits that he has made. Does he have offshore bank accounts? Now he's smart, I can tell you that. Anybody who can manipulate Jews the way Al Sharpton. Listen, the boy's on, he's on MSNBC in the news program, and he can't even read. He can't read his name in front of written on a damn bond. Al can't read, stumbles all over the place. And yet they let him, nobody complains. The advertisers don't complain. People who've gone to journalist school and know what journalism is, sit there and watch Al Sharpton. What is he? What is it? What? It's that Jewish money. It's that Jewish money. And it ain't just the money that Al is getting, but all the money that they're making from developing, stealing and robbing and maiming and land grabbing as they go up here in Harlem. And I got to tell you, they are building everywhere you look. There's a new building going up. And every time one goes up, Al gets a piece of the action. My friend, there need to be an investigation. You know, you people voted for Obama. Raise your hand if you voted for him, but yet you're living in a shelter. Raise your hand if you voted for him, but you're unemployed right now. Raise your hand if you voted for him and your wife done run off with another lesbian woman. Vote. Listen, I put on a sign the other day that you black woman, you better watch out for these lesbian women, cause these homosexual men rather, cause they can do something to your man that you can't do. These men can do something to your man that you can't do. But raise your hand if your wife can run off with a lesbian. Raise your hand if your 65-year-old grandma is not talking about she's just found love for the first time with another woman. This is the first time she's ever been in love. Raise your hand, since Obama, raise your hand if your grandmama not talking about she's just found what true love is in the arms of another woman. Raise your hand if your daughter, raise your hand if your daughter or your son is now with another man and your daughter with another. Raise your hand since Obama. The destruction, that's just the physical, spiritual destruction. The economic destruction that has taken place here in this community is unprecedented. There's never been anything like this ripoff. And Alice, I have to give it to him. Alice slick, Alice smart. That boy is smart. Let me tell you something. You can talk your way. Listen, they got rid of Chris Cuomo the other day off of CNN. And Don Lemon is hanging by a string because he allegedly, sexually molested some bartender out in Sag Harbor going back a couple of years. But Al Sharpton is an underpaid drug dealer. Al Sharpton is a snitch. And yet, the president of the United States comes to kiss his ring. That's for that Jewish money, that Wall Street money. Lord have mercy. But it shouldn't be that way. That money should belong to you. These buildings should belong to you. These homes should belong to you and your family. You have Thanksgiving dinner and Christmas dinner. Enough room for everybody. Big dining rooms and backyards to play. But Al is gutless. Al is ruthless in my estimation. And I have to tell you this, my friends. Y'all have let these liberal media, LGBTQ, and the pension-nosed Negro is the other thing. These pension-nosed Negroes, these are people, Negroes, unlike that beautiful statement of Jasmine Arbery, who said about her brother Ahmaud Arbery that he got dark skin and kinky hair and he got a big nose. Well, that's the black man. That's the Hamite. That's who he is. That's who he is. And it's beautiful. And she was right. But there are a bunch of Negroes running around who want to be white. So they pinch their big flat nose so when they talk, they sound like they're white. These pinch-nosed Negroes. Y'all have let these pinch-nosed Negroes, these sellout preachers that are getting millions of dollars for selling their churches, turning over their property. Y'all let these Al Sharptons of the world and the liberal media turn you against me. You let them tell you that I ain't for the black man. And you ain't got a bit more sense than to listen to it and go for it. Because I speak the truth, they call that hate. The truth I speak, and you know I speak the truth. You know I do. They call it hate. And you've let these people turn you against perhaps the last righteous man in New York City, and perhaps the last righteous man. Now listen to me very carefully. All of what I've said right now takes some cojones. You understand me? Now you listen to me. Y'all want you to hear me. You listen to me. To stand up and to declare that these Italian boys got these contracts, these Genovese boys, these Genoa boys, they made a deal to let Al Sharpton go. They made a deal not to kill Al Sharpton if they can get the contracts. If they can get the contract to bring in their trucks, the contract to bring in their cement, the contract to bring in their cranes, the contract to bring in their workers, the contracts, the paddock contracts. They get that and say, we'll let Al go. So the Jews and the Italian boys made that deal. Now, you ain't gonna hear that from nobody. Listen, the district attorney, if he knew it, and I believe he does, he ain't gonna tell you. Because he feel his life will be on the line. But I'm a righteous man. I'm telling you how Al Sharpton wiggled out of not being whacked out by the mafia, because the Jews told the mafia, we'll give y'all the contracts, we'll do the banking. We'll take Harlem. We'll take Harlem in a fair swoop. Won't have any problem with Al Sharpton rounding up the black people to march against us. And like Freddie's fire. Well, anybody, when I worry about Al Sharpton, if you'll just let Al Sharpton go, and they reached that agreement, and then Al said, I want more. Al said, I want to be on television. I want to be on, and they put him on television. They gave him a news program. But Obama ain't innocent either. Obama's hands ain't clean. When y'all gonna wake up? Out there marching the other day talking about we gonna overcome. Out there marching talking about voting rights act. Let me tell you something. If you ain't got no money, listen, get the money and you don't need to vote. The people with money don't vote. They pay for their politicians. They buy them lock, stock, and barrel the way they bought off Biden and a whole lot of other people. People got money don't vote. People got money don't depend on no vote. They buy what they want. And until y'all get some money, out there marching and marching and marching and protesting and marching and going nowhere. Complaining all the time. And yet Al Sharpton. Listen, for me to say this, I'm not trying to, pat myself on the back for having said it. But you need me. You walk by this church, you let these white people tell you to hate me. You let these people in the media to tell you to hate me. You let these LGBTQ people tell you to hate me. Why do you do that, brother? Why do you do that? Why you listening to them? You ain't got nothing. They got everything. You ain't got nothing. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to show you. I'm trying to tell you what Al Sharpton had done to you. The man's a billionaire. The mafia is making money building. Everywhere you look and see a crane, everywhere you look and see a new apartment, everywhere you look and see where they're bulldozing over a church, the mafia is making money, and the banks are making money. Al Sharpton gets a cut. Yeah, you gonna let them tell you, you gonna say he represents the black man. I call him Al the Buzzard because every time somebody gets killed, he shows up just like buzzards do, circling around dead bodies. And I call his friend, that other guy, Ben Crump, the Undertaker. He shows up too. The Buzzard and the Undertaker, they both show up. You got to stop letting these people tell you to hate me. I mean, you got to stop it. Now they got a bigger megaphone. They got the media. They got the churches. They got the preachers. They got the LGBTQ people. All of them ganged up against me to tell you, hate Manning. He ain't for the black man.
All right, Scam Lashley, what you want? Scam Lashley, what you want? Get off my phone. This is the brother. Hello? Hello, nothing. What you doing on my phone? Get on off this phone. I just heard a preacher you ought to hear jumping up and down. That's why I'm talking like this. Now get off this phone right now. And don't call me no more. You hear that? It says scam likely. What kind of scam you got? What you trying to sell? Huh? Now the cat got your tongue. You know what that means? You might be young, I don't know. The cat got your tongue. You know what that means? If the cat gets your tongue, it means you can't talk, of course. Something got your tongue and everything else. Have I paralyzed you? I didn't talk to you so funny you can't respond? You froze something. You sitting up there froze. I thought so.
Big dummy. And you listen to him. At any rate, I think that the inequality that just on basis of if none of this was true, and you've been around, you've seen enough movies, you've been around long enough, you